Hello, everybody. You're going to notice from my live stream that I am not at my usual office. I am actually filming on location down in Arizona for my I Wish You Knew podcast. I just talked to a narcissism expert today. That was fantastic. And I finished filming at the studio and popped on home and then realized that my new Avoidant Man video had gone absolutely wild. So I wanted to pop on and live stream a bit and talk about avoidant attachment style in men, how to build happy relationships for avoidantly attached men, avoidantly attached couples. For anybody who's new to this channel, because I know a lot of you just popped in through that video, I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. I have a master's degree in psychology. I was a licensed marriage and family therapist for many years. I retired from that so I could focus purely on attachment and especially helping couples love each other if there's an attachment issue involved, even if there's a severe attachment issue involved. As long as both partners are willing to do even a little bit of work to make things better, every single relationship can be fixed. It's my absolute belief, and I've never been proven wrong. As long as there's a little bit of willingness, I will find you the way to fix it. So really quick, a couple things you need to know. What I have found is that direct guidance is one of the best ways to fix avoidant attachment, or if you're anxiously attached, to fix that, or if you're a couple who's trying to stay together, some direct mentorship. I have a mentorship community called the Attachment Circle. You can work with me for a year with 100 plus group calls inside that community. I will help you. There's also a supportive community element inside of it. It's less than $20 for a call that way. We can troubleshoot. I could train you in relationship skills and show you how to fix attachment issues. There's a lot of women in there who love avoidant men, who are supporting each other through that and working with me to improve the relationship overall. So keep in mind, there's a lot of help. If you need it, please let me know. Check it out on adamlanesmith.com. Vital, good to see you over in chat. Sorry to miss last night. Glad I couldn't catch you. Glad you're here. I am 100% glad you're here. Doing great over here. Just wrapped up some filming in my studio. I talked to a self-aware narcissist today. So some of the things I'm going to be talking about tonight will come directly from a severe narcissistic personality disorder, the advanced extreme version of avoidant attachment. So I know it also works for men who are avoidantly attached. It's the baby version of the full personality disorder spectrum. So we will be talking tonight about what avoidantly attached men need to feel fulfilled, to feel content in a relationship. Not only do they need to do it themselves, and they do. I want to put that right up front. If you are with an avoidantly attached person, or if you are an avoidantly attached person, you need to put in the due effort to form honest, authentic, and loving relationships. You do. Now, that does not mean that you just willy-nilly trust random strangers not to hurt you. Avoidant attachment style, what they're actually avoiding is getting hurt. They're avoiding being trapped. They're avoiding unfairness. They are avoiding arbitrary expectations being layered upon them. That's usually what creates avoidant attachment style in childhood, is a parent who is extremely arbitrary or hurtful, maybe abusive, very negligent. And what that avoidantly attached person learns is that nobody else is ever going to be fair with them. Nobody will care about their needs. Nobody's going to help them. So then that tracks forward into all their future relationships. Most avoidantly attached people are not manipulative. They're not really narcissistic. They're not hurtful. Those people are out there. But the vast majority of avoidantly attached people, especially the people I tend to work with, are not horrible and manipulative and abusive. Okay, they get a horrible rap online. And again, I know those people are out there. So if you're in this over in chat saying, hey, I've been hurt by those people before, I totally get that. I understand that that is absolutely a possibility. But again, the vast majority of avoidantly attached people are scared. They're trying to be moral and ethical, but in a world that they believe punishes moral and ethical behavior, and they believe that they are the only person really trying, that everybody around them is really just temporarily being moral and honest, that other people are going to betray them when the chips are down. That's why they don't open up. That's why they don't connect to other people. They don't, even the brain chemistry is very different for avoidantly attached people. Very, very, very common. So I see over in chat, you guys talking, yes, I can relate to this 100%. Avoidant attachment style comes down to believing no one will ever really be fair. So you have to stay on guard, and you can never relax that guard ever with anybody. Okay. This is avoidant attachment style. And then These people, they want to be in relationships. They don't understand quite what the deal is, why other people get so obsessed and infatuated, but they do want to be in relationships. They're not sociopaths, and they don't lack empathy. They just don't understand that connection. They usually don't get the oxytocin bonding, the GABA, the vasopressin bonding, a lot of the serotonin. They're missing a lot of that because they don't have the deep human connections where we get a lot of that. But they do have, the very human desire to connect to other people. So they try. So what do? Well, they tend to try to make other people feel good through dopamine, usually. They feel good through dopamine, and so they try to make other people also feel good through dopamine. Attention, compliments, gifts, time, focus. But unfortunately, what tends to happen is something often called love bombing, where the other person often is anxiously attached and the other person is seeking validation from someone who's a little bit aloof, but dumps validation on them and love bombs them and saturates them. And instead of experiencing dopamine, what the other person who's anxiously attached experiences is a flood of something called oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love hormone. The avoidantly attached person is mimicking being in love, and it activates the anxiously attached person to say, this person is truly in love with me. I'm finally accepted and validated. Somebody accepts me. I won't be abandoned. And they grab onto the avoidantly attached person with both hands and want to form a deeper, loving relationship, but get soothing from them and be reassured by them. Anxious attachment needs reassurance. They're craving it until you fix it, by the way. But the avoidantly attached person, in about 6 months, the novelty of dopamine starts to wear off. So they'll lose interest in the relationship at about, again, 6 to 7 months. And it starts to be a chore. It starts to be exhausting trying to soothe the anxiously attached person. It starts to feel overwhelming to be in a continuous relationship, especially one that's pushing forward with expectations of permanency, right? And liability and vulnerability, pushing forward into that emotional intimacy. This is that cycle of anxious and avoidant attachment style. This is why, and you may not hear for this from anybody else hardly who talks about attachment online, but me as the attachment specialist and all my training and all my experience as a therapist and everything now, I will tell you, attachment styles can change. Avoidantly attached people can heal and become secure. Anxiously attached people can heal and become secure. Some of the best bonding I have ever seen happen is when couples, one anxious and one avoidant, fix their attachment together, become secure, and are the first people to ever really open up with the other person and make that full connection happen. That secure connection, it's a love bond unlike anything else on this planet. It's incredible. So when couples fix that attachment together, it's an amazing thing. That's why I have the Attachment Bootcamp video course. It walks individuals and couples through fixing your attachment together. Then you have those conversations that you need. When you fix your attachment and when you share your needs with the other person, we'll talk about how avoidant people can do this or how their partners can kind of guide them through this. We'll talk about this tonight. When you fix that attachment and you can finally share your needs, I can't say it better than this. I was talking to a self-aware, self-proclaimed narcissist today who's done 7 years of therapy and is working on fixing. His name is Lee Hammock. I was talking to him on my podcast today, and he is not self-diagnosed, he's actually professionally diagnosed narcissistic personality disorder, like way worse than avoidant attachment style, but on the same spectrum there. And he was talking about how once you finally find that woman, that person that you finally realize is worthy of trust, somebody that you respect and you admire, when you find her and then take the steps to prove that she is trustworthy. And when you go through that, not like put her through a ringer and make her jump through hoops, but when for example, my avoidantly attached male clients in my coaching practice, when I teach them the 4 levels of trust and exactly what those look like, and they finally see a framework for who to trust and who never to trust, and then how to build boundaries and say, no, I won't let you in, and then how to push people back if they violate those boundaries, and exactly what that looks like, all that fear goes away. And when you apply that in a healthy relationship, like Lee did, then you realize that this woman is worthy of your trust. And that activates a whole other biochemical bonding process that the avoidant man has never experienced before. And The title of this live stream is What Avoidantly Attached Men Need to Feel Happy, right? He needs to find a partner and hopefully a friend and maybe two friends, 2 to 3 people in his life overall that he can verify are as honest and as ethical and moral as he believes he is, maybe even more so. People who are consistent, reliable, self-policing, people who have a moral code that they will not be shaken from, people who even hold him accountable for his problems, people who don't chase after him, but they will tell him, look, I will not tolerate this or this, but I will be right here if you're ready. People he can relax in their presence, okay? And then he needs to do his work to actually explore what trusting them means. When he does that, his brain chemistry shifts dramatically. He will go from cortisol and dopamine, this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, of I'm stressed, and I have low resilience against stress, and I have high cortisol all the time, and I'm always on guard. They usually have like a chronic 7 out of 10 anxieties level every single day. That's why I have to work with avoidant men, usually to resolve their anxious behaviors, their anxious response in their body first. Many of them don't even realize they have an anxious response that's that chronic. But you have to resolve that first because of the chronic cortisol, the fear. And then they have the dopamine binge cycle to cope, right? I'm stressed, so I cope. I'm stressed, so I cope. I'm stressed, so I cope. And they have that constant back and forth. When you have a trusting, loving, intimate relationship, okay, his brain chemistry opens up in a different way. He starts to release what's called vasopressin. Number one is really important. Men have more receptors for vasopressin than women do. Now, vasopressin is a hormone released when you solve stress together with somebody else. You go through stress, they help you relieve it, boom, vasopressin. Your brain says, that person is my ally. I like them. I trust them. I want to be around them forever. Okay, men have more receptors for this than women do. Vasopressin bonding, enormous. It gets through the avoidant attachment stuff. Some of the best ways to bond with an avoidantly attachment. I have 5 long form videos for vasopressin bonding here on this channel. If you're eager for that, they're there. I also work with couples exactly on how to initiate vasopressin bonding through some coaching that I do. I have all kinds of things for this. So if you want to learn more, by all means, ask. Vasopressin bonding with her. I went through stress, but you helped me relieve it. I actually acknowledged the stress and I did something fearful and I opened up and you nurtured me and you cared for me and I finally see it, right? They finally see it. Vasopressin bonding. And then when they are feeling accepted and their guard has come down and their cortisol is down, they feel bonded to you through a hormone called oxytocin. When a mom hugs her baby, both of them get oxytocin. When you kiss your baby on the head, you get oxytocin. They both do. When lovers hold hands or kiss, oxytocin. Foreplay is releasing oxytocin. That's why it's so important, by the way, everybody out there. Oxytocin is incredibly important, but you don't get it, number one, when you have massively high cortisol. It actually blocks that reception. And number two, most avoidant men have never experienced it. And that's usually why they're avoidant. They don't understand the intimacy of a real relationship because they've never felt biochemically what a real relationship feels like. When they bond through vasopressin and trust and connection, then they bond through oxytocin and they feel about you in a way they have never felt about anybody. They've never been able to biochemically. And then they release something called GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. GABA, G-A-B-A. It's an inhibitory neurotransmitter that actually shuts down anxiety and depression. It diminishes cortisol release in the future. So if he gets stressed out again, it will be less. His brain says, I don't have to be scared anymore. People love me. It's a huge biochemical signal. And he gets that through that love and intimacy that he's finally explored and found. And then he gets a lot of serotonin. Instead of scraping the bottom of his life for serotonin at the gym or with nutrition and missing one day at the gym destroys him, he gets a flood of serotonin every time he connects with you. Vasopressin, oxytocin, GABA, serotonin floods through his brain. And all of a sudden, his quality of life goes up. What this does is it deactivates the lone wolf survival mentality. And in trade, activates a thriving pathway where he leverages, in a good way, the loving connections he has around him, to decrease his stress, but then to start embracing opportunities in his life, to start connecting with people he cares about, connecting with his children or his partner, his friends, and then drawing out new opportunities that they can explore all of them together. Does it trade your raw edge? Yeah, but you get long term thriving in its place. This is a great trade because I have tons of men come into me who are executives, C-suite executives, big corporations, or they've built giant companies and they've performed well till now, but now they cannot maintain. They're stuck at the top with the same team and they cannot maintain a cohesive team because now people are starting to see through their manipulations, or they're starting to just see that that guy is shallow and empty, or they're starting to see that he's scared. It's hard for him to run his team. He's on his second divorce. His kids won't talk to him, or he's single and he's in his mid 40s and he's wondering now, is it ever going to happen? Am I always going to be lonely? He can't maintain a relationship. They're usually drinking alcohol to try to bring their stress levels down because they don't know how else to do it. They're lonely. They're frustrated. They're massively high performing, and they don't feel like there's much left in life. That's where a lot of avoidant men usually come into me. And that's when they usually start working on all of this together and start improving. And they say, okay, I'm open to the idea that there's something more. They usually come to my channel. It takes them about 6 months to believe that I'm not a scammer who's going to just take their money, laugh at them, and run away. And after about 6 months of watching avoidant man videos or all that material, then they'll email me support@adamlanesmith.com, or they'll check my website, adamlanesmith.com. They might schedule a single coaching session with me. They might check out my mentorship community, the attachment circle, where you join for a year and get group calls with me. They might do that, but they take their time because they're afraid. They're not used to trusting anybody. Many times, avoidant men, I'm one of the first people they've ever really trusted. And then I show them step by step how to determine the people in their life who are worthy of trust and how to open up to them and how to experience that fulfillment. So the question tonight is, how does an avoidant man feel happy? What does he need? He needs that chemical cocktail that we talked about a moment ago. He needs to have a couple of people in his life that he can trust. He needs to have a few people that he has proven are not going to betray him, work against him, trap him, ruin him, that in fact they care about his thriving. They actually care about his needs. They actually will listen when there's a problem. They won't blame him and attack him. They will actually help him. That's what he needs. And everything echoes from that. All the biochemistry changes echo from that. All the improvements, all of the life quality that goes up, the ability to maintain a loving relationship, the ability to see your partner for who they are and really receive that love, right? Instead of him needing constant alone time, escaping from you, from his partner, occasional time to recharge, but he's not exhausted in your presence because he's not performing endlessly. He's not afraid to ask for his needs to get met because he knows you actually want to meet his needs. So he's happy to ask. So he needs actually far less, especially alone time. Avoidant men often start to really enjoy that deeper connection and the time spent together. It's not performative. It's not performing. It's not pretending. It's not just trying to make you happy so you'll leave him alone. It's real, authentic love. Most of them have never experienced this. But research from Dr. Sue Carter actually indicates that avoidantly attached men, most likely, who did not get high oxytocin in childhood, their oxytocin receptors will actually shift away from receiving oxytocin even more into vasopressin. Now, they can shift back with time, but it takes diligent time and them receiving consistent heavy oxytocin to shift those receptors back. But now they are more primed for vasopressin bonding, which comes back to resolving stress together, which could be doing projects together. Some avoidant men actually bond with like a mentor at work or a business partner. If they are forced to solve problems together with somebody, they usually will bond in that way and build that incredible connection. But it takes work and a lot of effort to bond in that way. And it's very much worth it. Avoidant men need this biochemical cocktail in their brain to find long-term fulfillment. right? We talked about avoidantly attached men seek dopamine bonding and dopamine binging. Dopamine is like candy. Imagine you spend your entire life, 35, 40 years, just eating nothing but chocolate candy bars. That's all you've ever eaten. And you wonder why you feel sick and unfulfilled, and you're always crashing, and it's never enough, and you're always tired, and you need more, and you have to keep escalating. And then somebody comes along that shows you that you can finally eat like a steak and potato dinner, like vegetables and fruit and all the foods that nurture you. Somebody sits you down with a giant feast and says, I will feed you forever. Now, most avoidant men don't see the feast, it's invisible to them. Somebody sits, a loving wife or a loving girlfriend will sit them down at a table and say, this is a feast I've prepared for you. And he sees nothing at the table. None of it makes sense. He doesn't even know that's food. So he goes off to find a candy bar on Instagram or on Tinder, and you know what I'm talking about. When you build this, when you feed him, you feed his soul. It's the greatest feeling there is. Imagine being his first love at 35 years old. Imagine being the first person to show him real love and connection. That's why avoidant men, and I've said this before, I will say it until the day I die, avoidant men can become some of the most loving partners and fathers, husbands in the world when they do their own work and work to become securely attached. And when they are truly loved and not by other people, and they know how to receive that love. Because nobody has starved in quite the way that they have. That's why I take such a compassionate stance toward avoidantly attached men when everybody else on the internet craps on them. To be honest with you, everybody else on the internet talks about how they're monsters and they're sociopaths and they're incapable of love. And I know for a fact that that is not true. They are people who don't believe love will ever be given to them. And that is terribly sad. And it's why it's one of the greatest moments in my profession, in my life, when I help those avoidantly attached men finally believe in love again. And when they experience it with their partner, and they experience it with maybe a best friend or a sister or somebody who diligently, authentically loves them, and they can feel that love. Okay. You can chat. Does secure attachment come through when you can trust in someone to self-work? The self-work, I'll be honest with you, you don't fix attachment alone in a room. A lot of people ask me that. And smart people try to intellectualize and fix. I will fix my attachment by changing my beliefs. But your beliefs, you didn't just intellectualize yourself into the bad beliefs. You believe through experience that nobody is going to care about your needs. And those experiences in childhood were so painful that you don't question them and you don't want to test them again because you don't want to get hurt again that way. That's why avoidantly attached men don't just go around testing and opening up constantly with people because the pain was so awful. They don't want to experience it again. Avoidantly attached men and women, both, they do not want to experience that pain again. So you cannot fix your attachment style alone in a room. I will just warn you guys. You can't fix it by reading a book, right? I have the attachment boot camp video course. You learn so much through that course, but I'm not going to say the course fixes you. The course gives you every practical step by step, laid out in a plan that you must follow. And then when you follow it and go have experiences, the experiences heal you. They change you. They give you that brain chemical flood that we talked about a moment ago, that biochemistry of real happiness and connection. It's not that some magic one little thing is going to, oh, no, I'm happy. I'm attached. I'm secure. It's having the experiences, scripted, careful, proper experiences that teach your brain not to be afraid anymore. That is what fixes attachment issues, whether you're anxiously attached or avoidantly attached or disorganized, the blend of the two, is the experiences. And that's why people come to me, is to learn what's wrong, get a plan, get the step-by-step process to build those experiences, and then to troubleshoot after those experiences, or to take the next steps after those experiences. That's what we do in my coaching. It's what we do in my mentorship program, the Attachment Circle, 12 months in there with group calls, and twice a week with me, you have group calls. It's 100 calls in a year in the Attachment Circle community. I very much recommend you guys check that out. All of this is fixable that we've talked about here tonight. All of this is 100% fixable. No relationship is unfixable as long as both partners are even a little bit willing to fix it. I've helped couples come back from screaming at each other, edge of divorce, 20 years of resentment. So I know for a fact that if the couple just fixes their attachment, it's incredible. Incredible. So, message here tonight. Fix your attachment. Believe that you can fix it. Even if you only believe a little bit, learn about it, right? You guys have probably all seen the video on my channel. It's exploding here tonight. What an avoidant man needs to feel happy. I hope you've seen the earlier videos that went super, super hot. How to love an avoidant man. If you haven't seen those videos, go check out How to Love an Avoidant Man. Those are on my channel. I've got 2 of those videos. Rebecca, I see you over in chat asking about avoidant women. I have already filmed a video about avoidantly attached women and what they need. I see, Thomas, you're also talking about avoidantly attached women. That video is coming very soon. Okay, very soon. I've already got it recorded. It's with my editing team. We're getting ready to post it up here before too long. I will be posting that. But avoidantly attached men, I know that you guys are hungry for this information. I know that you guys are very, very hungry for this information. So here's what I'm going to do. Over on my website, if anybody needs this, there's no pressure here, but if anybody needs this, if you are looking for a year-long mentorship program with 100 group calls with me, where I will train you personally in skills, I will train you personally in fixing your relationships. There's live Q&A portions in every single call, plus skill training, and they're recorded where you can get them. And there's a supportive community of women who love avoidant men, of avoidant men themselves, of anxious men, everybody supporting each other and giving each other answers. My favorite part of this community, a big piece of it, is anxiously attached women asking avoidantly attached men questions to better understand how to love their partner at home. And those avoidant men in the group sharing very honestly and very candidly with them. Here's my experience. Here's what you could do. Here's how this might feel. And sharing and nurturing with them. If you need a group like that, you guys need some support, check out, I just dropped a link in the chat. It's the Attachment Circle Mentorship Community. Again, 12 months with me with 100 group calls. And I'm not exaggerating. I think it's 104 group calls because it's twice a week. So give that a check. I'm definitely here to help. I'm here to help. I'm going to keep saying that till the day I die. Lukey Luke, link. I just dropped the link over there in chat. It's adamlanesmith.com/the attachment circle over there. Jack says it's a great community. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. If that link goes through, great. If for some reason that link doesn't go through, just go on adamlanesmith.com, my website, and click on the attachment circle up at the top or in the drop-down menu. The Attachment Circle is my private mentorship community. Pop in. I would love to work with you guys and help you in there. I am here to assist. If you're avoidantly attached and you just found this channel, I know you're going to circle for 6 months. No pressure. I am not here to pressure anything and anyone. I do not want you to come into the group. If you are not ready to do your work, if you are not ready to learn to become secure, that is a group for people who are serious right now about becoming securely attached, about building those thriving, healthy relationships, about building that biochemistry and the brain chemistry that makes you fulfilled and happy. So if you're not ready for that, no need to join the group right now. Take your time, get yourself ready, because once you join in that group, it is a year of intense focus with me personally helping you. So keep that in mind. Vital elements, I'll second that. Thank you guys for popping in. Members from the community right there. Love it, love it, love it. Might have to show to enable all messages. Uh-oh. I have no idea. Let me try posting that again because I want to make sure you guys get the link. I am also going to pin it in the comment section. once this video goes live, because I know thousands of you guys watch these live streams later. You guys watch the recordings. I'm going to pin the Attachment Circle community link in the first comment, so check that out. I am here to assist, please. I will keep saying that because I have realized that I don't talk about the products that I have helped, I released and created to help people. I just made them and I put them there, and I hope people will find them, and I don't like to pressure anybody, but I have these incredible products that are there to help. So please, by all means, ask me what you've got. Oh, the viewers need to enable all messages. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you. You're wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, at this point, what I'm going to do is turn on members only chat. And members, you support me, I want to support you right back. So I'm going to pop members only chat on, and you can ask me every question that you have about avoidantly attached men, about this brain chemistry, about the attachment, about anything you guys have. Members, please, please, please let me know. And over here, I think it's over here, depending on how the camera's reversed, there's a button that says join. Any one of you can become a member of the channel and support the channel. You can join the inner circle, whatever you want to do, but you can support us right there. I really, really would appreciate that. Thank you so much, you guys. Members, what questions do you have for me? I know your names are in green. Vital, I see you there. What questions do you have about avoidant attachment, avoidantly attached men, relationships, brain chemistry, any attachment challenge things at all? I am here to help. What you got? I love those hearts going. Thank you, you guys. As I'm waiting on questions, avoidantly attached men, what's their number one fear? I get that question all the time. Avoidantly attached men, they have two fears. One, typically, is that they are going to miss out on everything that makes life worthwhile because they are so fixated on surviving that they start thinking they've missed everything of value. And they usually can push that off with dopamine till they're 30, 35, 38, 40, sometimes a little older, depends how long they want to push it off with just dopamine. Or when they try to find an answer, they get burned. So they stop searching for a while. I've seen that too plenty of times. But number one is feeling like they're going to miss out on the joy of life, that everybody else is going to find it and they won't. And their second fear, though, is that by opening up, they will become trapped by somebody who is going to exploit them and treat them like garbage and be arbitrary and unfair to them. Many of them had parents like this growing up, what we call the authoritarian parenting style. Many of them had that growing up. So their biggest thing in life is, I will never be somebody else's person that takes whippings. I don't even know if you could say this on here anymore, but I will never let anybody control me like that ever again, even if it means I do miss out on the joy of life. Those are usually the fears that drive them. So again, demonizing avoidant people is, don't do it. I wish I could tell every other mental health creator on the internet, stop demonizing avoidant people. Vital, can early life experiences with fair, decent people diminish avoidant tendencies for someone with an arbitrary parent? They can. So we used to have 5 safety nets 100 years ago. We would have your core family, right? It's more the core, like nuclear family isolated on its own is much more of a byproduct of like the Industrial Revolution of the last couple hundred years. Previous to that, there was a lot more, and we'll talk about that, but the core family, the core parents and siblings, and wrapped around that, the extended family network, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, second cousins, third cousins, all these people, a vast network of blood relatives. After that is what we call the kith and kin network of, family, friends, and everybody you knew around you, all the friends of friends and everybody that you probably would marry someday because you grew up with their kids, kind of thing. After that is the community. It could be your village. It could be a neighborhood of a larger city. It could be a demographic group or something, but the community feel. The last one was your religious institution or community. It could be any religion, but your religious group would nurture you. And you were supposed to have all 5 of those. So if your parents couldn't nurture you in some way, something happened, they died, they were an authoritarian, you had all these other people to give you this love and fulfillment. And now religion and communities and things like that are gone. More communities and villages and things like that are gone. Kith and kin networks are largely gone. The extended family networks are largely gone. And now the nuclear family is like dying. It's on life support, if that. So some people have it and some people don't. And the ones who do, many of them have an arbitrary or hurtful parent. Often somebody who came from trauma and has very severe avoidant attachment themselves, so that and the more hurtful version often, or a personality disorder, so that person takes out their anger on their child, who then becomes avoidant and says, I will never let anybody hurt me like this ever again. Nobody was around to take care of me. Nobody cared. Everybody kept their distance, and the only person hardly around me at all was this parent who was authoritarian, and then this other parent who usually is very submissive and anxious. And I had to caretake my anxious mom, for example, and deal with my authoritarian dad. And it's exhausting on both sides. I just want to be away from people. That's where most avoidant attached men come from, right there. I don't want to have to caretake an anxious woman all the time like I did mom. And I don't want to have to deal with some angry, yelling guy like my dad all the time. I'm just going to be alone. That's where avoidantly attached guys often come from. Not always. By all means, not always. It can look very different from that. But that's the most common that I've seen. Really great question, Vital. Really great. Yeah, if you have somebody that gives you diligent, faithful, consistent love in childhood, it can very much diminish that, because then you have an alternate story, right? My parents are a little bit whacked out, but there's this one family member or whoever who genuinely loved me. It's not usually the mom. I'll just tell you, a mom who pairs up with a really like severe, domineering, controlling dad. Mom herself usually has a lot of battle damage and a lot of anxious attachment anyway. So then the kid grows up nurturing her, taking care of her, dealing with her resentment, all kinds of stuff that can usually come up. So anxiously attached moms don't usually make much of the difference, to be honest with you. Securely attached moms can make the difference. And that's why a lot of the women who come to me and say, my ex-husband's avoidant, my kids are messed up, I'm anxiously attached, what do I do? My answer is fix you. Not like go fix him and threaten your ex-husband, like fix you. Become securely attached. Give your kids that vision. Help them understand what secure attachment should look like. Help them understand what a healthy, loving relationship that's not exhausting to them looks like. And then over time, maybe you can introduce that to your ex-husband and talk with him about it, or the kids can talk with him about it, because they'll have a frame of reference, not to threaten him or alienate him in any way, but they can go to him and say, Dad, this is what I would like to build with you. Can we change our relationship? And hopefully in time he responds to that. That's the goal. Never to alienate, but to foster growth and improvement. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Really great question, Vital. Other questions from any members in here, or Vital, another question, or anybody want to become a member, click the join button down there and you can ask me these questions. I'll answer them. I'm here. Anybody watching this video later on, by all means, post a comment, post a question. I love questions. Let me know what more you would like to learn about avoidant attachment style. Hit me up with that. I would love to teach you. I'd love to show you. I do these live streams every week. I would love to talk about that. I run a podcast where I talk about avoidant attachment, the I Wish You Knew podcast. If you guys check out the I Wish You Knew podcast, you'll learn a tremendous amount about relationships. I talk with a lot of avoidantly attached men on there. So, avoidantly attached men has become very much a piece of the work that I have done over the last many, many, many years. Vital elements. Did you learn anything new from your talk with the individual with NPD? So his name is Lee Hammock. Lee Hammock. He's very interesting. I wouldn't say I learned anything new, because I've been doing all this for 15 years. I got a master's degree in psychology. I studied personality disorders extensively. A lot of experience working with personality disorders. It was just more fascinating to me. You don't get to meet face to face with somebody who has done their diligent work to recover from true diagnosed narcissism. That term gets thrown around all the time in our culture today, but a true diagnosed narcissistic personality disorder. And it was just refreshing to be able to see my work come to life, essentially, in this guy who had done his diligent work and is now working hard to parent his children and to give them love and bonding in a way that he didn't experience before. It was good to see, once again, confirmation that fixing your attachment and becoming secure can make things better for him and his family and his wife. And now he is teaching online about narcissism, and I don't think he's credentialed or anything like that. I don't see, but he's been through the work himself. So the word is getting out. Life can be better, and we don't have to live as fearful of other people as we have been. It's very, very much an important piece. So everybody out there who's wondering, yes, do your work. You can live so much better. You can heal from just about anything. I've had people come in their 70s and start working on avoidant attachment with me and build a very fulfilling life in their 70s. You'd think like, isn't that too old? No, you'd be surprised how much wonderful living you could pack in even in your 70s when you have a hunger for it, when you haven't experienced it much before and it's new. Imagine the newness of life at 70. You can always, always grow. So if you're less than 70, then life can be even better. Keep that in mind. All right. If there's no other questions from the members, I'm going to cut out for tonight. I will post the link to the Attachment Circle Mentorship community as the first comment. I'll pin it. Anybody who's interested, let me know. If you guys want to contact me, I'm support@adamlanesmith.com is my email. Happy to take questions, happy to help, happy to assist, happy to give you hope, happy to work with couples, happy to work with individuals, happy just to answer questions. Let me know what you've got. I am here to assist. Make sure you check out How to Love an Avoidant Man, the 2-part mini-series here on this channel. I've got that. And other than that, it's wonderful talking to you guys. I'll be back again real soon. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel. I've got more avoidant material coming very, very soon. Till then, good night.